Hello internet, and in today's content we've got the drip marketing for Evanescia and silverwolf level 999. These two banners are a big deal because it is said and rumored that these two characters will probably be part of the strongest pushed team for the whole version, meaning they will likely be strong and dominate the whole meta. I personally think it's really likely that Evanescia will be someone like that because apparently she will be following two different paths, or at least have functions for two different paths, right? You see, in the drip marketing itself, Evanescia is seen to have a MEMOSPRITE while being the Elation path. Not to mention, we know that in-game we just received a new relic set in Everglorious Magical Girl that actually helps MEMOSPRITE, so chances are Evanescia will have a MEMOSPRITE. So that's right, on top of being the main push Elation path character, Evanescia might also, very likely in fact, have a MEMOSPRITE around with her. That sounds like a recipe for an insanely strong character, and not to mention, we also see silverwolf level 999. Something potentially unique about this character is that she might actually have level 999 in her like character screen, probably. I hope that's the case. Like if you reach the max level, it just says level 999. That would be a really cool detail, and well, her design as well is just hilarious in a couple of places. But I will say she's kind of similar to just normal silverwolf though. But I mean, she is the same character, probably just different level, also different like prowess. She does rock the freaking Thanos glove though. In any case, for today's video, let's take a look and have a deep dive into both of these characters in terms of their design, in terms of their rumors, and in terms of what they could possibly bring to the meta. And yeah, let's just jump right in. And feel free to comment down below and have a discussion on the new characters as well. And if you're excited to pull for the new character and you need resources, here's a word from today's sponsor. Listen, pulling for characters can be a train wreck like this one, which is why I'd like to introduce a website named Aniba. Aniba offers top-up services that I personally use in order to get the best top-up deals at a discount for the same top-ups that I already planned to purchase. You know I only use the trusted sources, which is perfect since Aniba complies with Hoyoverse's top-up service guidelines, and that's the biggest doubt removed. So to get a new big prize in yaoguang here with Aniba, click my link in the description, purchase the bundle you'd like, which actually has localized prices based on your location, enter yours or maybe even a friend's server and user ID, complete the purchase, and voila, your resources are in game, no fussy login required, zero hassle involved. You even get a 10% cashback for your purchases that you can claim in your Aniba wallet for your next purchase, so it's just more money saved. If you're already planning on spending anyway, Aniba is honestly a good deal, and why not give it a look-see? The curse of buy-look, get yourself those glorious V4 characters instead, how about that? And this actually helps you very much to afford food on the table, and I appreciate your support. Now then, back to the video. We start us off with Evanescia. I think that's how I pronounce her name at least. And yep, her drip marketing just got released, and she's revealed to be a physical Elation path character. Now, to think about physical Elation, we already can assume she might work really well with yaoguang, which is also physical and also Elation. And since we know that with the new relic set, she's likely going to be using that since she has a MEMOSPRITE in her design at least, she'll likely also be a main damage dealer for the Elation path. Something we don't really have so far because sparxie is actually more like a sub DPS that generates punchline for the whole Elation archetype. This makes Evanescia more likely to be the full-on straight-up main DPS, and if I know anything about Elation path so far, they are already strong enough, and that's without a full-fledged main DPS yet. So Evanescia being added in the game will probably make this team completely insane, easily tier 0. Will they overtake the perfect remembrance path completely? That I'm not sure. And speaking of remembrance path, will Evanescia be usable in a remembrance team if anything? That would be an interesting case. Now, she does have like a MEMOSPRITE Fox Spirit following her around, so there is a chance we could even use her in like the MEMOSPRITE setup. I think that'll be a really cool thing that Hoyoverse could do, to have different archetypes still work with each other instead of just saying this version you've got to pull this team and that's the only team that's going to work. So I'm hoping to see some synergy between like different MEMOSPRITEs of different paths. But in terms of the rest of the design though, her design seems to like follow like a college girl that's modern. You got the boba tea. You also got a lot of stationaries like rulers, and in fact her sword is kind of just one giant ruler as well. You do see the pom-pom badge right about there. So obviously we will see Evanescia and the whole Astral Express being involved in a storyline. I don't think that's any secret though, like obviously that's going to be the case. But in terms of the design as a whole, I think it's solid. Obviously with the Fox Spirit behind her, it does fit her entire vibe of just the whole Miko idea. If you play previous titles from Hoyoverse, you will know there's always going to be like a Yai Sakura type of character from Honkai Impact, and Evanescia obviously shares a lot of similarities with being the Fox Spirit medium kind of person. If you're an OG fan of Sakura, you will be a fan of Evanescia. In every universe, I shall love you the same. Now, what's interesting is that with her description in the text, it's kind of hilarious as well. I mean, the whole planar cardia setup is kind of just funny anyway, with like, aha, special shout out to Evanescia for winning innate 2D fan constitution, eternal high school girl first place, and whatever the crud this is. It takes 10 years to go retrieve 100 and nurture people. What award even is that? That's just a sentence. And most people are really hyped about this character because, well, it is one of the fan favorites, and she looks adorable, obviously. Now, there are some questions like, will she be working with Silverwolf SP, or will she be her own archetype, working with Yaoguang and Sparxie? That is actually an interesting idea, unless you looked at leaks, otherwise you wouldn't know. What's definitely highly likely is that Evanescia will be a main straight-up DPS. The interesting part will just be, will we have to pull Silverwolf as well along with her to make her usable, which in my opinion, I don't think that will be the case. It's a likely chance that Evanescia with Yaoguang will be already solid enough, but then there's also a chance that Silverwolf level 999 will be usable to replace, say, Sparxie in that team, or to be the fourth character of that team. There's too much unknown since I don't really refer to leaks, but if you do, you probably have an idea. In any case though, Evanescia seems to be the person to pull if you are going to play the best Elation squad so far, and I cannot wait to see how her entire MEMOSPRITE style involves with the Elation path as well. It's going to be an insane change in the meta, and yep, I'm very excited for her. Should you be pulling her? Well, until we know of her kit, we don't know, but on paper though, the main focus DPS, the main focus team of different versions usually are the ones that you want to pull, and then you don't have to worry about the whole version anymore, because you know for a fact that they'll be good for the whole version at least. Just think about Castrus, right? And that is all for Evanescia. Let's actually take a look at the second drip marketing that we see. It got posted yesterday, and it is Silverwolf level 999. In terms of like the awards that these, you know, Elation characters usually win, you got the Cosmic Con Collective Legendary Player rank 1, the God of Script Destruction first place. It suits her entire hacker style identity, and yep, in terms of design, it just looks like she hacked into like a MMO, and she now gets every single OP equipment like the Thanos glove or whatever these flying blades are. It suits her entire identity for sure. She's just hacking a lot of equipments, putting it on herself, and then just ruining everyone's lives by being level 999 in a world where level 80 is the max. To focus more on her design though, I will say she is quite literally just Silverwolf with different equipments. However, the attention to details are certainly there. A slight change in her hairstyle with a multitude of different equipments and a whole high-tech tail looking like thing. It explains that this Silverwolf is Silverwolf, but with a lot of different equipments, a lot of different upgrades. So I think of this as a different form of Silverwolf, something like Danheng PT and Danheng, right? In terms of elements though, she's actually of the imaginary element, and of course she's of the Elation path. That means she's the first imaginary Elation path character. Well, there's not a lot of other Elation path characters to make that a really unique thing anyway, but she is the first imaginary element character that's from the Elation path. Now with Silverwolf, it's harder to know what she's going to be all about for sure. There's a chance she's also just a straight up main DPS along with Evanescia, or maybe she is the main DPS and somehow Evanescia isn't, even with the whole MEMOSPRITE idea. If she is a main DPS though, the idea will likely be to have players either pull Silverwolf or pull Evanescia based on whoever you love, and still have a whole Elation team built up if you have pulled for Yaoguang, which again, so far it seems that Yaoguang is a very valuable pick if you want to play Elation teams well. Another idea is that perhaps Silverwolf will be a supportive Elation character. I personally do doubt that though, and even if she is, she might be more similar to like a Sparxie that can also do damage and still support the team by, say, generating punchline, or at least support the team by helping Elation do better. Let's not forget there's going to be an Elation MC soon as well, so all of these new Elation characters will work with each other quite well, and there's still not enough Elation path characters to fill in different roles so far, so the likely chance is if you want to pull for Silverwolf, she will be useful for an Elation team for sure, one way or another. They are a really fresh team after all, and none of them are completed yet, and Silverwolf may be one of the puzzles to complete a full-fledged Elation team that's focused for version 4. Or maybe Hoyoverse is just going to be very unpredictable and make Silverwolf the tank of the team, or the survival slot of the team that can also support the team while doing damage. All of it is really possible, but you know, before we actually see their kit, we can only discuss on what she might do. I personally find this comment hilarious when she decided to be level 999. But yeah, most people's take on Silverwolf level 999 is that her design hasn't really changed too much, which is like not exactly the best thing that people will like about. I personally am content about it though. I do think Hoyoverse has been doing this format for a while. There are characters that are like the same characters but different forms based on the story, and they do release them as their own banners. And I do think this new style of Silverwolf has some details to it that makes her stand out compared to just the normal Silverwolf. The base design though, it is pretty much the same, but a lot of different equipment, and I'm sure a lot of different special effects as well will be involved. Like like the whole colorful 2D pixel dragon here. But yeah, I personally am content about this. I'm okay with it. We're definitely gonna see good visuals as well, considering we've seen her in the trailer. She's just flying around. So in my opinion, at least based on my own preference, I don't think I'll be too disappointed. Let me know what you think though. Yep, that is pretty much all for the drip marketed new characters. I think they're both likely, one of them at least, are going to be must pulls if you want to play the Elation archetype. That's going to be really focused for the whole version. Now the question is, will they be the main focus of the version and be in the team where it's like a castress team that the whole version is going to be revolving around them? I personally think so, but there's also a chance they'll release someone else that could actually fit that role better in the future of version 4. Who knows what they'll do? I do think this is looking to be the main push of the new version though. These two are really popular characters that Hoyo knows a lot of fans are waiting for, so I think it's a likely chance we've got to start saving. And so far, I do think Yaoguang currently is going to be a high value pull for all these characters. At least it doesn't look like anyone will immediately replace Yaoguang fully. Now, unfortunately, we aren't told of their kit though, unless you've referred to leaks. So I can't really say if you should be skipping sparxie or pulling Yaoguang right now, but I will as more info are released. So yeah, do follow the channel if you're looking for that. We'll be testing all of these characters in early release the moment they are allowed. So do follow the channel if you're up for that too. That'll be all for today. Let me know what you think about these characters, man. I cannot wait, and take care.